The top video in August for Celtics Today had 894 likes. Well, now it's September 5th, and I want to see if we can blow that record out of the water. All you guys need to do to help September beat August is like this video down below, and let's get into it. Is Oshae Brissett finally saying goodbye to the Boston Celtics? In his latest blog on BrizzyTV, he talked about maybe leaving Boston, but also saying, I'm not there 100% yet. But as you guys know, Oshae Brissett did decline his second year with the Boston Celtics, and he told Brad Stevens, look, I want to go out in free agency. I want to find a team that's going to give me more playing time. And I don't blame him. Delano Banton got traded at the NBA trade deadline. He went to Portland and started averaging about 35 minutes per game. Oshae Brissett is a good basketball player. He's a fine role player for the Boston Celtics, and I've enjoyed the way that he offensive rebounds like none other are part of the Stay Ready group. But I also get it, in Oshae Brissett being in his mid to late 20s, he wants to go out there and see what team can offer him. But he still is in free agency. So with not having any team calling his phone right now, but also knowing he's not going to get that playing time that he does want with the Boston Celtics, it looks like Oshae Brissett's in a little bit of a pickle here. But because the Boston Celtics are now getting their sizes for their rings, because the open ceremony is about 1 month away, Oshae Brissett got to reconnect with some of his teammates. And here's what he had to say when he did make his trip down to Boston. He said, walking around the streets of Newbury Street in Boston, getting a little sad. Because who knows? Like I said, door's not closed, but we're right here. The thought of not coming back is crazy. I just thought I'd get it off my chest to let you know, Boston, the city of Boston, again, I adore you. I love you. But I want to harp on this. He's not 100% ready to say goodbye. I was honestly pretty surprised when he declined his second year. I think that being a role player on the best team in the NBA is a pretty fine job, but I get it. Brissett, he is a good basketball player. And we have seen what he can do going up against top contenders when he has been a part of the Stay Ready group. But not being 100% and knowing there's still a final roster spot available for the Boston Celtics means that Brizzy may come back this upcoming season for the Boston Celtics. But the last thing that we heard from Brad Stevens was that he would welcome Oshae Brissett with open arms if that's what Brissett decided to do. But he also agreed with Oshae, saying, look, man, I can't give you what you want. I can't give you the playing time. Look at our freaking roster, man. Like, you're not jumping in the starting lineup anytime soon. But then, knowing that he would be okay with Oshae Brissett coming back, he then signed Lonnie Walker to an Exhibit 10 deal, which will now allows him to pretty much try out for the Boston Celtics 15-man roster in training camp, which is coming up here in just a few weeks. But that still has the 15th roster spot open for either Lonnie Walker to make the team or maybe Oshae Brissett, who's not 100% ready to leave Boston. So my next question goes to you guys. Who would you rather have as the 15th man on the Boston Celtics? They already have 13 out of the 15 guys coming back. Svi Mykhailiuk, he's signed with Utah. He's now with Danny Ainge. And then Lonnie Walker recently signed an Exhibit 10, which could lead to a one-year contract. Type LW for Lonnie Walker in the comment section down below, or OB for Oshae Brissett. Up next, I want to tell you guys about the most recent report from Shams Charania talking about how Lonnie Walker might end up being waived regardless. It may be something out of his control. You're going to want to stick around for that. But before we hop into that, I want to make sure that you guys have the most nutritious and delicious meal service delivered right to your door, and it's ready in just under 2 minutes. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Factor. If you guys are looking for real chef-crafted meals that you guys can prepare, no mess, no prep, in the kitchen, it is ready to go in less than 2 minutes. Because look, basketball season's starting up, football season kicks off later tonight and even on Sunday. There's just really no more time to be in the kitchen, in and out, making yourself dinner, making your kids dinner, yada, yada, yada. But with now over 35 different meals you guys can choose from and 60 add-ons as well, that means you guys are always eating good and it's always budget friendly, and you don't have to do any of the work. So keep yourself out of the kitchen. Factor Meals is ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. You can enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage your calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, which I don't eat red meat, so that's just a preference for me. So to have several different meat options here to get my protein intake in, I am all for it. And you can just eat well balanced. If you guys want to go ahead and get started, head on over to factormeals.com/chatsports50. Use code chatsports50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code chatsports50 at factormeals.com/chatsports50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is still active. The question is now focused on Lonnie Walker and whether or not he's going to make the team. And it kind of sucks because Lonnie Walker was a free agent for a while. And it was one of those players that when he got signed to the Boston Celtics, everybody else is like, why has he not been signed yet? He's a great basketball player. And I think he could thrive on the bench for the Celtics, but it looks like there may be a factor that's out of his control in this decision-making. Shams Charania did go on to say that the Celtics are adding Lonnie Walker to their roster, league sources tell me. The sources say the 25-year-old guard will be brought in on an Exhibit 10 contract, which allows Boston to give Walker a bonus if he is waived after training camp and plays for the team's G League affiliate in Maine, which allows Boston to give Walker a bonus if he's waived after training camp. But I'm told there's a chance Walker is waived after camp to keep Boston's 15th roster spot open going into the season. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure what Brad Stevens may be wanting out of the 15th roster spot. I understand that he's kept that roster spot open for quite some time, not to mention last year, he kept it open until April and then just signed Neemias Queta, who was on a 2-way contract, to come play as a standard contract for the NBA. I think Lonnie Walker would be a great fit for the Boston Celtics. Add some forward depth, which they've been trying to do behind Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and I think he just fits in offensively and partially defensively if he can start to become a little bit more consistent for the Boston Celtics. But Brad, knowing that he wanted to keep that 15th roster spot open primarily for Kristaps Porzingis, knowing he's not playing in the first 2 months leaves a big question mark on whether or not somebody else can get hurt. Because what happens if one of your forwards goes down and Drew Holiday or Jaylen Brown, knock on wood, well, then you're going to have to get another forward out there. So I know that he has signed 3 bigs: Luke Cornett, Xavier Tillman, who can be a forward or a center, and Neemias Queta. That clarifies that that was for Kristaps Porzingis insurance. But Brad Stevens has always been really stingy when it comes to that 15th roster spot, like we saw last season. Now signing Lonnie Walker, the top free agent, in my opinion, who was still left on the market, to an Exhibit 10 deal, not pulling the trigger on him just yet. He's kind of like that ex-girlfriend that just wants to keep you around, but also wants to see what's out there. And I feel like that's what Brad Stevens is doing right now with this 15th and final roster spot. So my question now for you guys here is, should Lonnie Walker make the team? Should he solidify the top 15, or should Brad do what Brad does and keep that roster spot open until he sets his eyes on a bigger prize than Lonnie Walker? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as always, if you love the Boston Celtics, go on ahead and like this video. Our goal to beat is 894 likes. Go on ahead, hit that thumbs up.